What's the government's response? Build more prisons, the Titan prisons we've been hearing about. They're going to hold 2,000–3,000 prisoners, robots. That's what they're going to create. The little interaction that prisoners have with inmates at the moment that keeps some sort of humanity is going to go, and doors are going to be open. Some are at the moment, but the majority of doors are going to be opened by electronics. Zzz, dunk, zzz, dunk. No rattling of key anymore. No, whatever it is an inmate has with a prison officer, even if it's hostile, it's interaction. And the majority of prisoners don't get visitors. So that little bit of interaction, as hostile as it can be, is so, so important.
Some of you may feel a bit cheated because I'm not going to talk for long, because it so happens that rather than you hear from me, you hear from somebody who went on a really long campaign with me around the Zyber case. And you don't want to hear from lawyers. We're paid by the hour. I can talk for a long time. But you're not hearing from me. Just a few comments, because I was really, really interested and humbled from Raphael. I mean, I get to go into prisons and come out. And it's rare, despite that, I actually don't get to hear and see what prisoners actually go to, my clients, because you have those 2 hours and you talk about the case. You rarely talk about what's going on inside and what the daily life is like and all the rest of it. You've got that time and you've got to use it productively. And so it is remarkable to hear what's going on, and certainly those who are arrested for terrorism offences are experiencing things within prison that, if I can call it, ordinary prisoners are don't find.
Molly was meant to be here with us today. She was meant to be speaking here in the last session. So this is a tribute to her life and her work. And it's a celebration of her life and her work. She got in contact with the Howard League for Penal Reform in 2003, just after her daughter died. Her daughter was called Sarah, and her daughter Sarah is the same age, would be the same age as my daughter Sarah, so we had a strong affinity. The Howard League, she contacted us because we're well known for working with prisoners and their families, and the families of those who died in custody, right from the early years of when we worked to abolish the death penalty. We met and talked with Pauline over many months, and she was elected a trustee. She was adored by staff, a true egalitarian. She talked to everybody exactly as she found them, and she found everyone had value and was interested in their lives. We supported her demonstrations, and I attended the last one outside Holloway Prison, following her death there. Pauline held 28 demonstrations outside prisons following the death of a woman who was arrested 15 times. She was, as David has called her, a suffragette for penal reform, and her direct action bore witness to the misery of women's prisons and inspired others. We have pledged to continue her campaign, and her energy and her campaigning will continue.
The last plenary session returned to the dominating issue of deaths in custody, and specifically to those in the UK. Deaths in custody are prison violence in the form of suicides and killings, and show the total lack of responsibility by prison authorities, said leading human rights lawyer Imrah Khan.
Thank you so much for hosting the conference. You did a really, really nice job. Fabulous. What a great team you have.
It's been very exciting.
Yeah, so on behalf of the previous conference organisers, and I always say thank you so much, putting your time aside and all that effort aside.
It's been very exciting.
Yes, good. For the Howard League, how did you feel it worked out for the Howard League?
I think it's been a really good discussion. We've had some wonderful ideas and some heated exchange of views.
Yes, great. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Your staff must have been pretty much under pressure.
Well, Hannah particularly has to take all credit for all the organisation, all the hard work, because she's been absolutely brilliant. She did all the work.
Well, on behalf of the previous organisers, thank you so much for taking up the challenge. So much, everybody clapped you so much. What a great effort! What a great effort! Oh, rubbish! You always have a lovely smile on your face. Yeah. But you've done 20 conferences like this, haven't you? How many conferences have you prepared? Oh, no, man, come on. Hey, there we are. Hi, guys. This is just part of the record, right? Which way does it go? Ah. Oscar. Hello, Oscar. Hello. Yeah, thank you very much for the effort. Careful how you fold it. So how many conferences have you been to before at ICOPA?
This is my first ICOPA conference.
But you're a very familiar face. I mean, we must have seen you somewhere. Where would you see me before?
Oh, just as action.
Of course. So you're a refugee from Australia.
That's right.
Ah, what a presentation. You did so well here at the conference.
Oh, thanks, Brett.
I heard again and again. I said, oh, that Martin has just got so much to say. Yeah, it's a special story. Yeah. What was you put it saying most of all that impressed people, do you think? Why do you think that they were so impressed by your presentation?
Oh, because I think if you take an absolutely consistent position against the whole total failure of the prison system, you gain a lot more respect than if you're just sort of a bit wishy-washy about it.
Yes, and you've been around in a lot of areas, in fact around Justice Action for a lot of years.
Yeah.
Very dedicated. And are you connected with one of the organisations here in the UK?
Actually, I'm not yet involved in any anti-prison group yet, but I certainly will be. I'm looking around at what's here, but I'm involved politically and socially in various issues, and I take up the exit issue and other issues as well, such as the detention of asylum seekers where they put their children in prison along with them.
Yes, marvellous. Well, it was great to see you again, that's for sure.
Okay,
wonderful.
Thanks a lot.
Kat's going to see this. Say hello to Kat. Yeah, well, I mean, you've actually, in fact, this is the conference where you're going to be going, not just from here, you're part of a trip going somewhere else, aren't you?
Yes, we're going to the penal policies and prison systems in Antioch and then to critical resistance.
Ah, wonderful, right.
8 weeks in Kew.
Yeah, great. And so how did you find the conference? How did you find the conference?
I enjoyed it.
Ah, good. Well, it was lovely to see you again. And how did you feel about that conference? Was there something that particularly you'd like to say about the...
I think the community was wonderful.
Say again?
The community was wonderful. Meeting everybody. For me, this was the first ICOPA conference for me, so hooking up with everybody was great.
Sweet.
In planning conferences, ICOPA has a guiding principle, the objective to reach the widest number of activist groups, people who experience discrimination, youth and recipients of the carceral, and encourage their participation as organisers, keynote speakers and presenters. ICOPA is committed to having a regular space in the plenary at the end of each day, in order to reflect on the themes of the conference. ICOPA is committed to including a range of voices and strives for a balance between personal testimony, the arts, activism and academic presentations. ICOPA is committing to mobilising the delegates to participate in action such as marches, prison visits and other types of concrete gestures to promote the aims of the conference. Among its abolitionist objectives, ICOPA seeks to connect with local pressing issues in order to bring support to those concerned and maintain relevance. Other resolutions included that ICOPA 12 pledges to continue its support of the Dennis Ferguson case in Australia and also support and assist where possible the building of the Robson collection housed in the Napier Public Library in New Zealand.